Today's adventure takes us to Naperville, Illinois, and to Naperville Cemetery. This is really going to be an incredible walk, guys. I'm excited about this one because in this cemetery is Joe Naper and his wife. Joe Naper founded Naperville in 1831. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. That's his grave right there. We're going to tell you a little bit about him. We're also going to tell you about William Brown, the only man in Naperville settlement that died in the Blackhawk War. He is buried in this cemetery. Revolutionary War soldier buried in this cemetery. Naperville's rodeo champion who died during a rodeo is buried in this cemetery. And we're going to tell you about a man, businessman, that choked to death back in the 1860s. He is buried in this cemetery. You're not going to want to miss this walk. This is going to be a lot of fun. So come join me as we explore Naperville Cemetery. Well, welcome back everybody for another video. Today we are in Naperville, Illinois, in Naperville Cemetery. How fitting. This is the first cemetery in Naperville. Contains some of the pioneers who started Naperville, including Joe Naper, the man that started this city a long time ago. But first we're going to take a look at some of these really nice old tombstones. Charles is the name, Goetz last name, Goetz, died February 17th, 1882 at 28 years old. Now, one thing that I am a little concerned with is this was a beautiful sunny summer day. Suddenly thunderstorms are beginning to pop up, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. M&M Artin, mother of S. Wise, died March 3rd, looks like 1864 at 85 years old. And then Susanna, daughter of G and S. Wise, died 1857, it looks like, aged 2 days maybe? A little hard to tell on that one. A little difficult. The good thing is, because the storms are coming, it's getting darker up. My flashlight is definitely more effective. Alright, flashlight. No, it doesn't want to go on. There we go. Wife of John Baum, died 1870 something. Age looks to be 51. Very hard to see. And we have Caroline, daughter, infant, died. That's, again, very, very hard to see. We are near one of the major roads here in Naperville. This is Washington Street, so you will hear some traffic until we get deep within the cemetery. John Rahm, born 1797, died 1894, 96 years old, which is extremely unusual for that time period. Most people died much younger than that. Susanna, wife of G.F. Dibert, it looks like, died May 8th, 1849, at the age of 29, so died very young, very young. What an incredible cemetery amongst these tall, mature trees. You know, when this cemetery was created, there was nothing here, nothing. You know, now Naperville's one of the best places to raise a family in America. Very popular city. And, you know, back when these people lived there, there was just nothing but farms. Conrad Cross died April 20th, 1850 something. Really neat. This is a really neat tombstone here. Check this one out. I can imagine what that looked like new. It looks like somebody holding a young child. Unfortunately, can't really see it. Martin is the name down there, the surname. Thunder rattles the area. We are going to have to be on watch for lightning. Hopefully we don't get lightning. We will see. I do not want to stay in this cemetery forever. Just want to visit. Antoinette's grave. Well, that's interesting. And no other markings on this, just Antoinette's grave. Okay, usually you'll have dates on there and if she was a daughter or mother or whoever, but not today. See the handshake? That one's hard to see, as I expect most of these will be. I see something daughter of J and L Snively, it looks like. November 27th, 1867. 19 years old. Another one here. Finger pointing up. The rain is beginning to fall harder. Hannah, maybe? That's the name. Very hard to tell. The rain is falling harder. Alright, the rain is falling, and you can probably see my lens of my camera is wet. Let's see who we have here alongside the road. It's like Polly. Oh, here's a placard here. Polly Frisbee Jackson, daughter of a Revolutionary War soldier. That is pretty cool. That's pretty cool there. Very cool. So I continue to look for the Naper family who started Naperville. So as we continue through here, the camera's a little deceiving because it is much darker than what you're seeing through the camera. Looks like we have Elizabeth there. Hard to see when Elizabeth died. Yes, that is thunder. That is definitely thunder. I am looking out for lightning. I don't want to be out here when or if it starts lightning. Oh, here we have Betsy Naper, 1809 to 1891. Okay, I just had a run for a tree. Rain started pouring there for a minute. Something Naper there. We have Nelson Naper, Jeannie Naper, Mary Webster, probably Mary Webster Naper, I would think, and Genevieve Hendricks, nee Webster here. What a massive, massive cemetery this is. Many graves. All right, as I'm walking here dodging raindrops, look what I have found. Almeda Naper and Captain Joe Naper. And this is who founded Naperville. This is why Naperville is called Naperville. This is the pioneers of Naperville. Joe Naper founded Naperville in 1831. Believe it or not. And he married his wife, Almeda Landon, in 1823. Came to Illinois in 1831. Just amazing. I believe they had 7 children. Founder of Naperville, Illinois. I apologize for the bad picture, the water spots on the camera. I can't do anything about that because it is raining. And once it stops raining, I will wipe the camera lens. Look at this monument here, guys. Wow. All right, I'm gonna have to run for a tree here. It's coming down pretty hard, and I don't want it to. You know, I know my camera's gonna be fine. I just don't know about my microphone and my other equipment. Look at this. Why is that in the tree? What does that even say? I have not enough hands. Not enough hands. I cannot read that. Okay, everyone, we had to take a little break. We have to try this again. We were here the other day. Storms rolled through. We had to hightail it to the car. There was localized flooding. I mean, it got really crazy. So we're back again at Naperville Cemetery. Let's see if we can do this again and get a video in without getting pounded by heavy rain and lightning and thunder and all that good stuff. So let's see what we could find here today. So I believe the other day I was coming up to this monument here before I had to run under a tree. And this is a monument of Thaddeus Scott, who was born 1830, died 1866. And how did he die, you might ask? I happen to know the reason on this one. He was a 35-year-old businessman. He was on a trip to New York City when he choked and died while eating a piece of meat at Thompson's restaurant on March 30th, 1866. And here lies Thaddeus, who choked to death on his dinner a long time ago. There's Willard Scott and Caroline Scott. Quite remarkable that you can still get a story from over 150 years ago of a person choking to death on their meal. Here's Clara Scott. She was 1850 to 1864, so she was only 14 years of age. Interesting. All right, let's see what else we have here. There's so many neat tombstones in this cemetery. It's just very difficult to get to them all, but we'll try. We'll see what we can do. Is that Reverend W. Chaplin, it looks like? I don't know if my light's going to be any better today. Died. Something looks like 1875. Can't tell the age. Beautiful tombstone. You can see it was cracked. They put it back together, which is nice to see. And next to him, we have a Civil War soldier, 18th Illinois Infantry, H.R. or B.H.R. Hull, it looks like. Thank you for your service. You know, it's interesting because Naperville's a pretty large city here in Illinois, and one of the best cities to live in and raise kids and blah, blah, blah. And I bet 95% of Naperville don't even know that the founder of Naperville is buried right here. They don't care. Wife of A.C. Branch, died April 19th, 1875. 45 years of age. It's interesting how they don't give her name. They just say wife of. And we have another wife of with no name on it. Wife of John Fraser, died June 17th, 1857, age 62. And this must be Fraser himself. It just says Fraser. Born 1795, died, looks like 1888. And here we have the Fraser Monument. Nice stone monument. Yeah, a lot of history in this cemetery that, you know, people just drive by every day. And it doesn't mean it's just Naperville. I mean, it's everywhere, you know, and not even realizing the people buried in here. If it wasn't for them, well, this wouldn't be called Naperville. Clarissa, wife of John Lamb. She died 1846, aged 25. She's very young. And we have, looks like George. Don't see a date on here. I'm wondering if maybe George was the child. Maybe Clarissa passed away giving birth when she was 25. So it wouldn't be surprising if that happened. Elizabeth there. Can't make out the date on that. This one just says Shaw on it. But I wanted to see what this one. Susan Bentley died 1871, age 52. And Lieutenant E. Bentley, killed at Fort Pickering, Tennessee, September 22nd, 1864, age 22 years. Thank you for your service. And so Susan must have been his mother, I am guessing. Wow. Very interesting. What a beautiful cemetery. It would be very peaceful if it wasn't for the noise of the vehicles, but oh well. There's Ira, son of Hiram and Sarah Bristol. That's cut off at the bottom. And here's Sarah. This is, what a sturdy tombstone this is. I mean, this has got to be 6 inches thick. Our mother Sarah, wife of Hiram Bristol, died May 9th, 1869. 64 years, 10 months, 21 days. She has gone to her reward, it says at the bottom. I mean, this remarkably clear tombstone. And here's Hiram here. Born March 22nd, 1800 in Washington County, New York. Died 1894. I love that, to see the family there. Really, really neat. This one says Miss Sarah, wife of Mr. Can't read that. Looks like 1771. September something. I don't know. It's very old stuff. Jeanette Keith Christie, wife of Elmer Keith, 1820 to 1903. All right, I'm going to take a walk toward the back. Not the back, because that's really far, but back a little bit here. But let me read this one. Our Mother Lucy, wife of A.R. Thomas, 1808. Looks like 1847 maybe? Something, wife of P.P. Thomas, born 1830s, died looks like 1880 something. Here's P.P. Thomas himself, 1834 to 1904. And on the back side we have A.P. Thomas, 1810 to 1888 it looks like. Really cool stuff. We are approaching tombstone here of one William Brown. Illinois Mounted Voluntary Blackhawk War, June 16th, 1832. He is one of the first buried in this cemetery, and he is the only casualty of the Blackhawk War from the Naperville settlement. Believe it or not. Remember that show many years ago, Ripley's Believe It or Not? Cordelia, maybe? I don't know. That one's pretty hard to read. Something, wife of... died 1850 something. And then we have John Murrah, M-U-R-R-A. Died, looks like in the 1860s. The quality of these tombstones are amazing to me. Cornelius, grave. I assume that's his last name because we do know it's his grave. So, little pun there, I suppose. Then we have Laura Gates, wife of Philip somebody. Again, 1850s. They really did a great job on these monuments back then. The quality is just outstanding. Susan C., wife of A.S. Hero, that's an N. Harroun, Heron, and that's 1859 there. Just outstanding. We have a storyboard over here. Let's go check this out. Storyboard is next to this Cody monument. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but let's see what this says. Okay, this says continued from the other side. So let's start on the other side. Revolutionary War veteran. I love seeing Revolutionary War veterans. It's so rare to see Revolutionary War veterans, especially here in the Midwest. East Coast, I could see that. Midwest, not so much. I have seen a number of them. John Dudley was born February 25th, 1758 in Connecticut. Age of 18, he enlisted in the militia and served at Fort Ticonderoga. You can read it. Ticonderoga in Colonel Reed's regiment. I have forgotten how to read, so I'll let you read it. General Washington led John Dudley and 24 other American troops in the legendary crossing of the Delaware River. Dudley assisted in the capture of 900 soldiers. That is amazing. Did you see this storyboard?
No.
This guy was a Revolutionary War soldier and was one of the people that crossed the Delaware River with George Washington.
Oh wow.
I mean, that's history right there.
This is great.
That's a great question. I haven't looked for it yet. I just saw this storyboard. And here's the rest of his story. 1777, he fought at the Battle of Saratoga, where British general surrendered. He was discharged. He married, raised a family. Received a pension in the 1830s from his service. So John Dudley Jr. and his wife Mary moved to Lisle, which is adjacent to Naperville in DuPage County here. And that's where John Sr. joined them. He passed away at his son's home January 2nd, 1846 at the age of 87. And he's buried right here in this cemetery. Wow, it almost gives you chills. Too bad they didn't preserve that house. I am assuming they didn't preserve the house in which he passed away in. That would be really pretty neat to see John Dudley Jr.'s house and where his father passed. But this is where he is. Amazing stories, it really is. So speaking of John Dudley and the Revolutionary War, well, here's his grave, right here. John Dudley Sr. died January 2nd, 1846 at 88. And a little plaque here. Daughters of the American Revolution. And we have SAR, 1775 Patriot. That is amazing. And here's another John Dudley, probably born May 2nd, 1755. Mary, it says there. I'm not sure what the relation is, because he was born, John Dudley Sr. was born 1758, I believe, from what the storyboard said. Looks like Augustus Dudley. And then Fred. Okay, we're looking now for another grave of another individual, Otto Clive, who was Naperville's champion rodeo cowboy. And he died during a performance in 1915. See if we can find his grave. Bo is my lead investigator trying to find all these graves for me, so it helps me out a lot. Here we go. Otto Klein. What a remarkable tombstone this is. We have, here's his cowboy hat. We have his lasso right here. We got his spur and his cowboy boot. That is really, really cool. So it looks like the cowboy boot came later, in my opinion, because that looks like it's etched in there. I don't think the cowboy boot's original, but Otto Klein, Naperville's rodeo champion, died in 1950 while doing a performance. All right, as we walk here more toward middle point, maybe we're a little bit past the middle point of the cemetery at this point. This is a section that is getting to be a little more modern, although we do see a couple of mausoleums here that still look to be pretty vintage. Von Oven Mausoleum. Looks like a bank. I don't know if Mr. Von Oven was a banker or something of that sort. But we see Frederick Von Oven in there, 1929. A couple other ones in there. It's a little hard to read. I'm sure if I didn't have the camera, I could probably read them. But that is the Von Oven Mausoleum. And adjacent to that, across the little road, is the Freck, or Fretch. Not sure how you pronounce that. Completely different style. This is more of an Art Deco type mausoleum, so I'm guessing 30s or 40s here on this one. And it's definitely much darker inside, as it does not have a window in the back because the crypts are actually horizontal here. Okay, we have another mausoleum here. Let's see what we've got. Large trees in front of it. Walker Mausoleum. This is more of a traditional type mausoleum. I don't think that's been unlocked for a very, very long time. So you can see in there Catherine Walker and Ronald Walker, 1992 on one, 19 something on the other. Hard to see, but beautiful mausoleum. And then over here, that's an interesting crypt or yeah, that's very interesting. It looks extremely old, but I doubt it is. Look at that. That is really neat. Christina Springborn, 1935, and August Springborn, 1937. And we see on top of this, we have an angel. Okay guys, we are coming up on a couple more mausoleums here. This one caught my eye as there's almost looks like sphinxes in the front here. Let's check these out. Let's see what we've got here. This is definitely in the Egyptian style. Friedley is the name. Look at that. Wow. That is amazing. Back up so you can get this full sense of this. It does look like an Egyptian tomb. Look at these sphinxes here. Wow. That is really, really cool. That's pretty amazing. We have the serpents, the winged serpents above the door. Wow, that is awesome. See Elizabeth Boschart in there, 1948. I'm sure it's very hard for you to see in. Not only is it dirty glass, but these bars are really close together. Albert, somebody, hard to see, 1924 it looks like. Somebody did put flowers in here at one time. There's some flowers. But What a remarkable mausoleum, to say the least. Guys, this is an incredible walk today. We saw a lot of history here in Naperville Cemetery, a lot of great architecture and wonderful tombstones. A lot of history here, Revolutionary War soldier, Joe Naper, the man Naperville is named after because he started Naperville. We just saw so much today. Thank you for joining me. And I really have to thank you. I recently hit 2,000 subscribers. I never had an expectation for this channel. It was just for fun. And I thought, well, I'm just going to put some videos up of me doing what I enjoy doing, and that's walking through cemeteries and looking at these amazing monuments and history. And apparently 2,000 other people enjoy following me along. So thank you for that. And as always, until next time, keep exploring.